Hi, I'm Carrie Gerdeman, Campus Support for Activities, and I'm here today to show you a simple activity that can be done with anyone at any level, at any age. First, we're going to start out with a piece of paper, and I got this whole pad of paper. I think there are 60 sheets. It was $13.99, and I used a coupon, so I got it for $7. So this is mixed media paper, so you can use it for watercolor and acrylic and oil if you choose to do so. The next thing I always use are coffee cans. They have a wide base for water. They're difficult to tip over and they're recyclable. So that's what I use for water. My palette is almost always a disposable paper plate. Economical, and you just throw them away. These are acrylic paints that I use. I get them at Michael's. They have a lot of pigment in them, and yet they're an inexpensive brand. You can also use the regular craft paints that are available at Walmart, Michael's, Joann's, and online. I always have paper towels. Today we're going to be using Q-tips. We're also going to be using a wide brush. This does not have to be an expensive brush. They are available at NASCO, but it does need to be a big brush. You can't use those little tiny cheap craft brushes. The other thing we're going to be using is simple painter's tape. Why do you have to have painter's tape? Because it is going to remove from the paper without tearing it. So I'm going to show you from start to finish how quick and easy this is. There's no prep, other than I did pull these pieces of tape off, and that's just because I moved my artwork once. And this also, it keeps it from moving, obviously, but it also keeps it from the paint from getting on the table. You can also take this to a tablecloth, but I find this works easier and it's quicker. So the first thing we're going to do is hand our residents a palette full of paint. Now obviously you could have more choices if you wanted to. With Sapphire residents, I would limit the choices. I would give them 2 choices at once and say, which color would you like? And then put that on their palette for them. One at a time they could paint it, because it does become overwhelming to have too many colors offered at once. Now, if you were a Sapphire resident, I would just give you the yellow on a paper plate to start with. I would hand you a Q-tip and let you go ahead and begin to put your dots on. They can put these wherever they want. If they're having fun, they can fill the whole page. It's about the process and not the product. Now, with other residents, if you hand them this whole palette, they can, it doesn't matter, they can add colors, they can mix the colors together. If somebody is real particular, they may want separate Q-tips, and that's fine as well. Alright, so once they have that done, you don't need to wait for it to dry. They're going to take their big paintbrush and just begin to paint water. Can't mess this up. You just have to keep adding water, and it creates sort of a watercolor look. You could use watercolor paints with this, not the little cheap ones that come in the tray, but rather the ones that are liquid. They come in small little tubes of watercolor. That's it. I always have my artists sign their work. So I would let this dry a little bit. Acrylic paint dries fairly quickly. You could let that, while you're letting it dry, they could create another one, or we could talk about how everyone's looks different, but I always have them sign it. I keep a little Sharpie with me so that they can sign the corner of it, because all artists sign their artwork. And then as you can see, this comes up clean and easy. This could be done anywhere on a campus, including in the 200 hallway at a setup table, and ta-da! Once it's dry, it won't drip.